Is the levels good? I hope the levels been good all night because I ain't got time to be playing around with y'all. LYNX Live, I'm your host, Dame. LYNX, remember, love yourself, no exception. You are tuned in to another episode of LYNX Live, and I'm having a great time. Y'all know always by this point in the night, I am lit, I'm faded, and you know we got to keep it PC. You know we always going to keep it pop culture, so I got my notes here. I got a couple things I had jotted down. You know what I'm saying? What's urgent is not always important. What did that mean? So I was watching a podcast the other day. Y'all know I love me some Jay Shetty. Anything mental health related. I love my podcast that push me to think. Anyway, you know, sometimes the loudest thing in your life is not the thing that deserves your energy. Urgency is noisy. Importance is quiet. And half the time, the urgent stuff is just anxiety in a trench coat pretending to be a deadline. I'm learning to pause before I sprint because not everything deserves my full speed. You know, I need to be pouring into what it is that I love. Every day, you should be aspiring to do something for yourself. Something urgent, something important for yourself. Like even me recording tonight was something important to me that I just decided to set aside the time to do. I mean, we find time to do everything else for everybody else. But what's urgent is not always important. What's important to you? What's going to keep you? What's going to give you peace? What's going to help you relax? I'm having a great time tonight. So, anyway, next up, look, Aries season. Look, I love Aries season. My best friends are Aries. You know what I'm saying? Aries and Geminis, our energy, we make the best friends. So it always feels like somebody lit a match under the culture when it's Aries season, because that's typically when I was back home in Atlanta, I would have the most birthday stuff to attend in April. You know, we're both impulsive, we're very passionate, we're chaotic in a cute way, and as a Gemini, I can respect it. They're my cosmic cousins. I love me and Aries, so we got each other. They're the fire, I'm the air. Together we make a whole blowtorch. So shout out to the Aries in my life. Y'all keep me entertained and slightly stressed, but in a good way. I love me a good old Aries. All right, look, so I was gone for a minute, so I do want to play a quick game. Hopefully it's a quick game of Do We Care? We'll see. We're going to see how many of these topics
yes, sir,
we can try to get through. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be reviewing some pop culture trending topics that occurred since our last airing, and I want to know what you guys think about them. Let me know if you care down in the comments. So first up, all right, our girl Chili from the legendary group TLC faces backlash over alleged Republican affiliation, and this is all in the middle of this new tour that they're rolling out. So social media users resurfaced political comments tied to Chili. A lot of people were going back and forth about it. Fans claim the controversy overshadowed promo for the TLC and Salt and Pepper joint tour. And I just need to know, like, do we care? Do we care that Chili is a Republican? Look, y'all were trolling her on Twitter and on social media when TLC inquired about what their set list should include. Y'all were taking a lot of those titles and really reading her with them. I forgot to add the clip. I forgot to add the screen clip in there so I could read some of them to y'all, but they were hilarious. Y'all are dragging Chili through it. But Kanye puts on the live stream and y'all forget everything he said. Moving on. Britney Spears was arrested on suspicion of DUI in California. Now, look, authorities confirmed Britney was taken into custody after a traffic stop out in California. No injuries were reported, and the investigation is still ongoing. But apparently, she was driving under the influence. Do we care? Look, Britney been batshit crazy for a minute, okay? So whoever's letting her drive without supervision is the problem. Y'all wanted her released from the conservatorship. Y'all said she was all good, so. But I do care. All right, speaking of that, DUIs and Britney Spears, police released the body cam footage from Justin Timberlake's 2023 DUI arrest. So he got arrested a couple years ago, I believe in the Hamptons or Martha's Vineyard, somewhere rich. And the newly released video shows Timberlake interacting with officers during the stop. The footage reignited public discussion around his past controversies. You know, I saw the footage and I just saw him being a drunk white boy. It's not like he dropped the N-word or anything like that. But do y'all care? Do y'all care about Justin Timberlake's body cam footage? Now, I know most of y'all are still mad at him about the gene and stuff. Let me know what you think. Look, our girl Tiana Taylor, she was named Time Magazine's Woman of the Year. Tiana's having a great year. I think that it is finally time. We have seen Tiana put in the work. So for Time Magazine to recognize that, on top of the year she's having with the awards and the movies and everything going on, and you look amazing. So, you know, Time recognized Tiana Taylor for her impact across music, film, fashion, and directing. And she's one of the few entertainers to receive this offer. Shout out to our girl Tiana Taylor. You are killing it. You deserve it. Tiana has put in the work, and she's been patient. So shout out to her. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announces the 2026 nominees. Of them are Sade, Lauryn Hill, and Mariah Carey. Need I say more? The way I've been listening to Sade for the last 4-5 months nonstop, you know, all three icons were included in this year's nominations class. Inductees will be selected through fan votes and industry battles, so y'all make sure y'all go out there and vote. But Sade, Lauryn Hill, and Mariah Carey are on the ballot list, and I would love to see, are on the ballot, and I would love to see all three of them be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now look, now it's getting a little crazy out in these streets now. There were shots fired near Rihanna's Los Angeles home. No injuries were reported. Now, police confirmed gunfire occurred outside the property. Rihanna was not present. I thought she was. ChatGPT be giving me the wrong information. Now, investigation remains active with no suspects identified. Now, come on. They identified this. Now, come on, ChatGPT. See, this is why I be trying to get him to fact check my production. I'm gonna have to fire ChatGPT as my production assistant. Anyway, Rihanna apparently is being stalked by this online personality that is obsessed with her, which is so crazy. And from what I understand is that she is the culprit. I don't know. Now, right down the street, a trespasser was detained after entering Nicki Minaj's property right down the street. Now, a man was taken into custody after unlawfully accessing Minaj's home. Security footage reportedly aided in the arrest of identifying the man. Y'all gotta stay off these rich people's property. That is crazy. So crazy. And I know how y'all feel about Onika right now, but we not about to be running up on her house. Okay? Monique Samuels, Real Housewives of Potomac. Karen, I am down the street. Karen, I would love to be your personal driver. But anyway, Monique Samuels publicly cleared Stacey Rush in Chris Samuels' reunion controversy. Monique stated Stacey was not responsible for circulating allegations about Chris. Fans are now questioning the original source of the claims. It was Cookie. I'm trying to tell y'all it was Cookie. She looked miserable. Anyway, y'all been hating on Stacey. Shout out to Real Housewives of Potomac. Stacey is the moment. Monique, you can come on back. You was cool. But if they want to bring Candace back, Monique, you got to go. All right. Monique got to go. The Met Gala 2026 theme was announced. Beyonce is joining the creative board of the Met Gala this year. Look, Beyonce will help shape the artistic direction of this year's event. Fashion insiders expect a more performance-driven, culturally rooted gala. I thought that they decided on a theme, but it's not in my notes. Do we care that Beyonce will be on the board at the Met Gala? Let me know. Speaking of Beyonce, her husband Jay-Z did a GQ interview. Now, Jay-Z's GQ interview, his Jay-Z interview sparks debate over his stance on rap beef. Now, look, rap beef. Now, Jay-Z said he opposes rap beef and prefers unity in hip-hop. And I feel like a lot of the rappers love to pull that whenever there's a beef between two major artists. Y'all do that with Nicki all the time, trying to say don't beef, but y'all glorify Kendrick for murdering Drake in the battle. Now, Jay-Z was part of one of the biggest rap beefs of all time, him versus Nas, where he dropped one of the best diss tracks of all time, Takeover, literally shutting Nas down. But what Jay-Z is saying is that the social media fodder that comes along with the beef just amplifies things and make it worse. Meanwhile, he selected Kendrick Lamar to headline the Super Bowl last year during the middle of all this, and he states that it was no slight to Drake. Kendrick was having a really big year that year. So that's why he was chosen for the halftime show. And look, he can get away with that because Kendrick really did have a great year. I'm sorry, as much as I'm OVO down, Not Like Us is a great record. It's a timeless record. It's almost up there. It's right up there with Hit 'Em Up for me. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. So anyway, what y'all think about Jay-Z? What do y'all think about rap beef? I like rap beef. Rap it out. All right, our girl Angela Simmons was making headlines. What to say? Angela Simmons' comments on dating standards ignite online discussion. So Simmons shared her expectations for emotional maturity and stability in relationships. She stated that, pretty much, I can't remember exactly what she said, but it sounded real grand in the scheme of what she was describing. But to me, Angela was just saying, you gotta have some effort. You can't come around here, doing the same thing you've been doing, dealing with me. I'm different. So I respect Angela for that. Look, social media went crazy. They debated whether her standards were realistic or not, or aspirational. I think that the type of girl that Angela is, Carisha was also recently under fire for saying a man should make so much money. I think it's just about the effort. It's about what are you doing to impress me? How are you showing up? How are you doing more for me than I can do for myself? Angela Simmons can do a lot for herself. So anyway, leave my girl Angela alone. Angela is lit. All right, look, that's it for Do We Care? Let me know down in the comments. Give me your feedback on the headlines. Do you care about them? Which ones you care about? Which ones do you not? Look, that's going to be it for LYNX Live. I'm your host, Dame LYNX. Remember, love yourself, no exceptions. I had such a great time tonight. Make sure you run over to SoundCloud, run over to YouTube, type in DAMELYNX, hit subscribe, hit share, check out my content, let me know what you think, leave some comments, show me some love. And that's going to be it. We do got a cool kid of the week this week. Look, I'm going to send it over. I'm going to post a throwback one for the cool kid of the week. It's going to be Lotto with her Funk Flex freestyle. Funk Master Flex. Lotto showed up and ate it. Here we go. Look, that's it for LYNX Live tonight. I had a great time. I'll see you all next time.